So the doctor told me these medications are super expensive, so a nurse is going to come to your home and she's going to administer the injection.
Peptides are transported in the right environment, temperature-wise, etc., to the end user, correct?
And I absolutely understand because I felt the same issue with my mom.
Even in their 20s now, even drinking has dropped, partying has dropped. People are on a health kick everywhere, and there is this massive movement, which is amazing. Welcome back to Becoming Limitless. Today's guest represents a new generation of healthcare innovators working to transform how people access medical support, not only when they are sick, but throughout their health journey. Joining us is Keswin Suresh, co-founder of Dardoc, the platform that I use personally for Limitless Human, and a rapidly growing digital healthcare platform designed to bring qualified medical professionals directly to patients' homes, workplaces, or wherever care is needed. By removing traditional barriers such as travel, waiting rooms, and fragmented services, Dardoc aims to make healthcare more responsive, personalized, and preventative. In a region where convenience often comes at the cost of health, platforms like Dardoc have the potential to fundamentally reshape how individuals engage with medicine, moving from episodic care towards continuous support. We will explore the broader implications of on-demand healthcare for longevity, corporate well-being, and the future of medical delivery in the Middle East, as well as how I use Dardoc in Limitless Human and for the people that I coach and work with. Keswin, welcome to Becoming Limitless.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elie.
It's so nice. This is long overdue. We were working with each other for a few years, and we never really got to do this.
We never got a chance.
Yeah, I know,
Today's the
right?
day, I guess, finally.
Yeah. It's been a journey, and it's been awesome. I always say to people, it's different to work with one brand versus another when the leaders, the founders are so well involved in everything that happens and they have the right intention. So I want to start off by thanking your support for Limitless Human and everything that you do for us and for our customers and clients and people that we work with. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm looking forward to an amazing growth happening now.
Yep. Thank you so much, Dr. Elie, for having me as well. The team is equally excited to have got to work with you and continue to work with you over the last 2-3 years, I would say. It's been a phenomenal journey, and when we share mutual interest, it of course adds a lot of value to the ecosystem as well.
And I'm very proud to say that I'm part of the advisory. I'm part of what Dardoc does. I feel that I'm part of the DNA for Dardoc. This is a personal thing for me because I feel very strongly about you guys, you and your co-founder Samir, and what you've built so far, and the team that you have. So I have amazing thoughts about the future for it and what we're building. So it's amazing.
Thank you so much. Actually, people like you matter a lot to us, and you guys help us to drive things forward, push the right narrative, and build the right products and services that can actually add value to people who are looking out on improving their health and well-being. So it's been a journey.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course it does. Anything meaningful requires, it has to go on a journey, right? So nothing of value comes easy.
Yes.
Tell for the few people out there, the listeners, the viewers that still don't know what Dardoc is, what is Dardoc?
Yep, so Dardoc is an online platform that brings at-home and virtual health and wellness services straight to your doorstep. We are fully licensed by the DHA and also by the Department of Health in Abu Dhabi. We've been operational since 2021. The range of services includes blood testing at home, IV drip therapy, newborn care nursing, peptides, and a few other longevity protocols. 30,000 plus users in the UAE have been impacted by our services, and we've been glad to be backed by the amazing ecosystem that we have in the UAE as well, including the likes of the Hub 71, which is a Mubadala initiative, Flat 6 Lab, and as well as the Mohammed bin Rashid Innovation Fund as well.
Amazing. So these are available both in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, correct, your services?
Correct, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Elie, and a little bit in Sharjah as well. We are trying to expand all over the country.
Everywhere, yeah. So, I mean, I've seen the journey of Dardoc for the past few years that I've been working with you and the growth that has been happening. And now there are even more tests,
Correct.
and there are the greater variety of things. And obviously, as you mentioned, you've also added peptides, right? So the source of the peptides, where are you getting your peptides from?
So we never like to bank on gray market when it comes to peptides. We wanted to stick to the protocols that's out there in the country, laid out by the regulators. And since we are under the supervision of the regulators, and since we are also licensed by the regulators, we wanted to make sure that the peptides that we are getting do have enough and adequate regulatory oversight, I would say, on the compounds. So we work with a compounding lab based out of Dubai. They source the materials or the raw amino acids required for peptides from an API facility out of Florida. It comes down to Dubai, in Dubai Healthcare City, super regulated environment. And over there, some really renowned pharmacists work on the compounding. And this helps us to actually enable in terms of providing super high quality, high stability peptides out there to our users in the market, which kind of sets us apart from other peptide providers out there.
And every aspect of the process is controlled by that particular provider, the compounding pharmacy, but as well as you when they leave the pharmacy, right? Because we know that compounding pharmacy has oversight. We know that there are no contaminants in it. We know that the storage is as it should, the stability of it, all of that, and the compounding process,
Right.
which most people miss, right? So when they go for peptides, be it through social media or on WhatsApp or whatever, they miss to ask all these questions, how is it stored? How is it developed? How is it compounded? Has it been tested for contaminants, yes or no? And so on, right? But also you don't end there, because when the lab hands it over to you, you also use a service that makes sure that the peptides are transported in the right environment, temperature-wise, etc., to the end user, correct?
So the challenge is that peptides are very sensitive in nature, and we don't want to contaminate it or destabilize the compound in itself, thereby reducing the efficacy for the user who is taking it, getting disappointed with the product, and then stop believing in the protocol and stop believing in the science. This is what eventually happens when a bad product is sent to the user. So once the compounding lab hands us over the product, we take care of photosensitivity, making sure that it is not exposed to direct sunlight. On top of that, all the way until it reaches your doorstep or it's handed over to your hands, we make sure that it is temperature controlled between 2 degrees to 8 degrees Celsius, which is very challenging to do in
especially in the summer.
Correct, especially in the summertime, and also in an arid region like Dubai or Abu Dhabi. It's super challenging, but we have been nailing it. We've been doing this for almost 6+ months right now, and our shipping standards and our satisfaction rate has been 99.8% until now.
I mean, I've experienced it myself, and lots of my clients have experienced it themselves too, and it's been awesome.
Correct.
And as I said, for most people, they don't understand dosages, they don't understand storage, they don't understand, or they don't ask the right questions when it comes to peptides. The number one thing that we're super clear about is that the peptides in general are not magic.
Correct.
It's a therapy. It takes time, and it always is effective when it is on top of a strong foundation.
Correct.
So the individuals has to work on their foundations first before they start optimizing, if you like, with peptides.
Correct.
So unfortunately, because of lack of education, people are going directly to the end source because looking for shortcuts. We're hoping to change that. So we're working together to make sure that people are educated, better educated when it comes to peptides and how to use them, and part of a larger ecosystem, right? So between lifestyle changes, between the testing that we do to understand already what are the deficiencies or the systems of the individual that may hold back the benefits of taking some of them are fairly expensive, as peptides. And if your system is not ready for them, it may even cause adverse effects, right?
Right.
So checking the systems first, understanding how your gut is doing, how your liver, your kidneys, pancreas, etc. These are fundamental for you to be able to receive the maximum benefits from something like a peptide.
Exactly.
And you do that through a wonderful ecosystem, because people can either optimize themselves with IV drips and so testing, finding out deficiencies, boosting and fixing those deficiencies with lifestyles and supplementation, and then through the help of people like myself and all of the different professionals that you have on the platform, they are able to receive, I believe, a free consultation. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So and then from that, they're following through. So it's done correctly,
Yes.
right? And this is very exciting, I think, for the region and for an environment here that is really hungry for a healthier lifestyle.
Correct.
Right. So there's obviously a lot of demand for that here. Now let's back up a little bit and say, sort of talk us a little bit about what problem were you solving when you created Dardoc? What was the reason? How did it come about?
Yeah, so quite a few people who know me know that I'm a bioengineer by background. My background was into robotic surgeries. I've assisted more than 10,000 plus brain and spine surgeries.
Wow.
Straight up in the operating room with some of the best surgeons out there in the world, representing some public listed brands out there. And what's funny was that operating rooms do carry a very high quality in terms of sterility, in terms of infection control, in terms of the standards that are being deployed to make sure that minimal adverse effects rise up once the procedure is completed. And this is how my brain was trained in terms of healthcare and healthcare as an environment. But then while I was working in Dubai in 2020, COVID was raging all over the place. But again, Dubai showed its resilience as usual, and the markets were open, people were traveling, and I got struck down by an autoimmune disorder. So I went, as usual, I took the reactive care route. I went to a clinic, one of the top-notch clinics, I would say, met with a leading dermatologist, and the doctor told me, you need to be put on biologics. And although I work in healthcare, I had very little understanding about what biologics are and what harm it can do on the long run. Nevertheless, you always like to take the doctor's opinion super seriously, and then I decided to go on that protocol. So the doctor told me these medications are super expensive, so a nurse is going to come to your home and she's going to administer the injection. And I'm like, wow, I've never heard of this. A nurse coming to my home, this sounds luxurious as it can get, as bougie Dubai can get, right? The nurse comes to my home on a fine evening. I was in my mid-20s at that time, and the nurse takes out the pen, because she's supposed to be carrying the pen with her, the biologic injection pen. And I suddenly noticed that the script of the doctor says some other product, and the one that she's carrying is something else. And I asked her, where's the script from the doctor? So she starts searching on her WhatsApp. And I'm like, how are you driving the entire business or your entire clinical operations on WhatsApp as a channel? This made absolutely no sense to me. And I had to stop her out from giving me the wrong injection, because she had no clue what's my condition, what's my prognosis, what I should be on, how long should I be on. And this was appalling. And the next day morning, I went to office. I kept thinking about it, and a few weeks down the line, I had a chat with Samer, my co-founder right now, who used to be the CEO of the firm that I used to work in. And Samer was like, Keswin, I absolutely understand, because I felt the same issue with my mom. What can we do about this? So I said, okay, let's quit and let's do something about this. Let's bring tech into care that is delivered outside of a hospital environment, outside of a clinic-like environment. But how can we mimic clinical grade quality, pharmaceutical grade quality, or hospital grade and surgical room grade quality, while people get care, health, or wellness delivered to their doorstep? And that was the starting point, or the Archimedes moment behind Dardoc.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And obviously, this is not an easy feat. Like to develop something like this, that is not just uncommon. It's also like a whole new approach to healthcare, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how difficult was it to kind of get this through like to the success that it is right now? Obviously, trials and tribulations,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know that the ups and downs, like just like every business. But the rewards must be like incredible for now to be able to touch, as you said, over 30,000 people in that new service. People like yourself who want the best care possible in the easiest way possible.
Right. The challenges were, of course, unimaginable. Challenges still continue to be there. But one of the biggest advantage I think Samir and I had while building Dardoc is that we started it out of the UAE.
I see.
And not only the economy, I would say, but the leadership, the ecosystem, the narrative to build startups did exist all the way from, I would say, top of the command to all the way to the stakeholders throughout the ecosystem. So being a part of the Hub 71, being a part of the Mohammed bin Rashid Innovation Fund, being incubated by the Department of Health, all of this added a lot of value. Helped us to get through a lot of warm introductions in our early stage because the environment is completely different. Early on you were doing surgeries and now you're shifting out of surgeries to something else. And healthcare is a very, very big ocean. So you cannot correlate something that happens in an operating room to home healthcare. They're completely two different industries in itself. But the ecosystem over here in the UAE was built in such a way that you can have easy access to any sort of business that you want. So I think that's the reason why all entrepreneurs like to move to the UAE and love to build businesses out of here. And I would say that we're also fortunate to have the right team, build the right team, find the right talent, and bring them on board who kind of believe in the vision, who kind of believe in the mission that we are carrying as founders. And that did help us a lot in terms of bypassing all the challenges and winning through all the ordeals that we were coming across.
Amazing, amazing. That's it's just inspiring to see such a beautiful story with all the hardships. Obviously, nothing comes easy that is meaningful, right?
Yep.
So I'm very excited about the future, and we could touch on that a little bit later on of all the possibilities under your leadership and Samir's leadership. But in an environment right now where there is this massive movement towards, preventative health, people taking charge of their own health span, not necessarily only depending on traditional healthcare, if you like, where it's more reactive than finding out what possibly could go wrong and intercept it now rather than wait for it to go wrong. We're seeing surges in people even in their 20s now. Even drinking has dropped, partying has dropped. People are on a health kick everywhere.
Correct.
And there is this massive movement, which is amazing because it doesn't only work on the biology, it also works on us as a humanity.
Correct.
We're kinder, nicer to each other when we are healthier.
Correct.
And this is something that is infectious to other people.
Yes.
When we're healthy, we infect the people around us to become healthy too.
Yes.
Infect them in a good way, obviously. Now, what role do you see Dardoc having in this amazing shift between reactive to preventative health movement that we see right now? And we're leading it. We're leading the charge. This part of the world is almost like the tip of the spear when it comes to this preventative, functional approach to healthcare.
Yep. I think preventive care is a combination of both knowing what exactly you want to prevent, at the same time working towards preventing that episode to alter your health and well-being. And we wanted to tackle both the areas, which is first of all identifying what could possibly go wrong, and then helping you to not encounter that episode. So we've been doing diagnostic tests for the last 4 years in Dardoc, kind of 25 plus panels. You can also cherry pick the biomarkers, and nurse comes to your home, picks up the sample, the lab processes it out, and then you get a PDF report. And we just identified that this is what probably 500 other players in the region also do. And this doesn't make no sense.
Right.
And we want to change this out. And how can we change this out? Now, the good thing that we do in Dardoc is that everything that we do, both Samir and I like to test on ourselves as well. So we do testing or diagnostic test once in every 3 months to see how our individual biomarkers are looking
Right.
as founders. How is our cortisol looking? How's our magnesium looking? How's our CRP looking? How's our hormones looking? And I always used to run to him every time a result comes out to ask him, hey, what do you think of my result? Because I'm looking at this PDF and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Do you think this is an ideal range for me, someone of my age? I'm in my late 20s. And he goes like, no. He gives me like a 5-minute long session. And I'm like, your insights are so valuable, but then how can we do this at scale? And then we started talking to users, and users started throwing the same challenge, like, you give me this laboratory PDF report, which tells me what's in range, what's out of range, but that's from a reactive point of view. How can I prevent this, right? For example, my lipoprotein B is high. How can I bring this down? What's the model for this? Because when I go to the doctor is telling me that, oh, you're just borderline high. Just walk twice a week and you're good to go. But I'm not convinced with the answer. Yeah. So that's where we decided to double down a little bit on diagnostics, I would say. We're launching something beautiful in the next coming few days timeline, wherein we just don't simply test you, but then we also enhance the report that comes out of it as well. We built our own artificial intelligence model that takes into consideration your demographics, your age, what's exactly an optimal level for someone like you as an individual, and then not only tell you that what's wrong, but also help you optimize it from a very, very personalized point of view, giving you access to everything ranging from peptides, supplements, sleep changes, recovery changes, workout changes, even sun exposure changes and nutritional changes that you need to make or apply into your lifestyle to make sure that when you retest 3 or 6 months down the line, you are no longer in that red zone or in that danger zone, but rather you're on the more optimal side of things.
But that's the whole idea, right?
Correct.
It's just not to be within the ranges that's been there for decades.
Correct.
But to be on the optimal side. And
Yes.
I think most people, including physicians, don't understand the optimal side.
Yes.
Because if something is out of range, it doesn't stand alone. Just like
Yes.
everything in our biology, right?
Yes.
That something is out of range, what does that mean? And even if it is not out of range, but close, like
Correct.
either lower on the lower side or higher side, what does that mean in relationship to other variables
Biomarkers.
across the
System.
panel? Yeah.
Yep.
And then what does that mean? What is the system trying to tell us?
Exactly.
If this is a little bit on the high side and this is a little bit on the lower side, this combination, what does it mean?
Exactly.
So, and I think what you built there is incredible in order for people to understand it a little bit better, and to be able to take the health in their own hands,
Correct.
basically.
Correct.
And this is where practitioners, coaches, doctors, etc., come into play to kind of assist that person into the next step.
Exactly.
Right? So then they're empowered more. They have more knowledge, because it's all about education.
Exactly.
I always say the Limitless Human program is less of a sort of a medical intervention. It's not medical at all. It's more around lifestyle. But more importantly, it is educational.
Yes.
So it's truly educating people about how they can get on a path, right?
Yes.
And then you play, and Dardoc play an incredible role in giving a tool that put people on that path.
Yes.
Because as you and I know, because as you said earlier, you and Samir and almost everyone on your team, you walk the talk.
Correct.
Just what Limitless Human is all about too. And that's really important for people to say, I don't just do as I say, I also do, what I want
Correct.
you to do. So bringing all of this together is then allowing people to understand that it is not about the big stuff that you do. It's about the small things that you do on a day-to-day basis.
Correct.
And health is a journey.
Yes.
You're going to have things that are out of whack because the body goes through cycles and seasons and stressful times and external influences and all sorts of things.
Yep.
Understanding that it is a journey, that it is a path, and then Dardoc helping people to put them on a path where all of the things that they do in their lives become part of their lifestyle.
Yes.
And that contributes directly to their health span, and therefore reducing disease, preventing stuff from happening,
Correct.
and all of the things that we know that contribute to someone becoming unhealthy.
Exactly.
Right? So I love that concept. When do we hope? I mean, this episode obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to come out. So by the time this will come out, it will. I'm
It
sure
should be live. It will be live.
Okay, amazing,
yeah.
amazing. I look forward to seeing it. We've been talking about it for a while,
Yeah.
But now it's coming to fruition. It's super
Correct.
exciting
Yeah.
to kind of go through the whole process. So, and I look forward to integrating it into Limitless Human and to have a greater reach and all of that. So it's I'm very excited.
Thank you.
Now, busy people, corporations.
Right.
Where do you see Dardoc there?
I think, I was somewhere in that category again as a founder,
Yeah.
super busy, 16-hour work days, trying to build a startup, trying to build a business. And we used to speak with a lot of leaders in the corporate world as well. And there's somehow a little bit of a false narrative that, probably corporate leaders have like a 9 to 5 working hours and they get to spare enough time in terms of sleep, recovery, and working out and so on. But there's a lot of sedentary lifestyle out there. When you're juggling at work or you're juggling a couple of things, it becomes challenging to balance it out. Your work, your life, and inside life, you need to manage your health, wellness, and family, and etc. And we started noticing this impact within Dardoc, outside Dardoc, and we wanted to, push this out.
Yeah.
The habit of developing a sedentary lifestyle. Personally, I was a victim of that as well. I was building Dardoc on one side, and on the other side, I was absorbing and embracing a very, very sedentary lifestyle. And back in 2025, towards the end of the year, I decided to completely press a button. I'm like, no, I need to move. I need to recover. I need to sleep well. And I also need to track what's going on in my body. And I also need to make changes and keep it as an ongoing journey, just like how you said.
Right.
And I think the corporate world is today more than ready to embrace this as well, because a lot of organizations have today realized in the region as well that employees function better, people function better, leaders function better when they are, optimized in terms of their health and well-being as well.
Right.
So a lot of HR business partners that we talk with, a lot of leadership that we talk with, they're very, very open to the idea of implementing a preventive wellness, preventive health-driven program for their employees, for their leadership, for their management, to make sure that they don't encounter an episode wherein they have to go away from work for a very long period of time. Rather, they function probably for limited hours, but during those hours, they're actually contributing their prime. And I think that's a very beautiful concept, because then you are functioning 100%, you're available for your work, 100% you're available for your family. You give you 100% when it comes to sleeping, and you also give you 100% when it comes to making lifestyle changes, and be it exercise, recovery, and etc.
That's amazing. Because, people are realizing that you could save quite a bit of money by helping your employees become healthier.
Exactly.
And this is, I've seen a surge from me also to do talks for corporations about overall workplace health and interventions within the workplace, and people to kind of pay attention to that. Clearer mind, better decisions, better decision-making abilities, better relationships with each other. Overall, it's just the impact is just phenomenal, and it compounds. So the returns continue to compound when you focus on health. So I'm very excited for what the possibilities are, and what possibly Dardoc can contribute to that across the corporate ecosystem, I think. From that, what do you see next? Because I know, and I'm going to reveal that already, like a couple of things, that we're always working on new tests, right? Because we want to try to reach a point where Dardoc is not just simply about the few traditional tests, so to speak, of blood and this and that, but we also want to try to include all of the things that you need to do in order for your system to be as healthy as it can be.
Correct.
That includes your environment, that includes, we do obviously cortisol testing, we do Dutch, we do hormonals, we do all sorts of things.
Correct.
But now we're going into other things too. So hopefully soon, if not already there, we're going to do microplastic testing.
Yes.
We're going to do sleep testing.
Yes.
Hopefully some mold. So that means we're looking at all of our environment. So when you go to Dardoc to look at yourself, you cannot just look at the organism only.
Yep.
You're going to look also the influences that are around the
Yep.
organism that are causing some of the issues, so to help you prevent in the future.
Right.
So having that in mind and all of the exciting stuff that are coming, and hopefully by that time this comes out, also most of this will be out, hopefully. What is the future? How do you see the future for Dardoc?
I think we see the future of our users, to be honest, right? How does it look for an average user or a typical user who is currently in the trenches of a sedentary lifestyle, right? How can they get out of it? So we don't want a sedentary lifestyle user to come in and be exposed to, for example, some crazy sophisticated test like, for example, a microplastic test. We want them to start from the basics and then start compounding by seeing results. I think human psychology is wired in such a way that when you start getting those minuscule miniature wins, you want to now go for the bigger goal. You want to go for the bigger target. You want to set a bigger target for yourself and chase that target. So typically we see a user's journey coming in and starting to optimize probably something as small as their hormones. And once they feel like they're in control of their hormones, they're in control of their blood sugar levels, they're in control of their lipid levels, then we want them to start looking at more advanced things. For example, now, how is their gut, functioning for them? Are they happy with the diet that they have optimized to, or do they seek more optimization? And now, once they have acclimatized to that sort of lifestyle changes, how are they looking at plastics, for example? How are they looking at mold? How are they looking at everything that they consume around them in terms of the air they breathe, in terms of the sleep they get, in terms of the food they consume, and surrounding that, what kind of diagnostics can we provide to them, and also what kind of therapies can we provide to them, but also who would be the right specialist for them to be coached on this, right? I just want to give a little bit of an example. I started running aggressively over the last 6 months, and I love running because I think it puts me in some other sort of trance state wherein, I'm just in my own thoughts. And every day I used to step harder, like I want to run more today. And this kept on becoming a continued process until I developed a stress fracture on my right leg. And I went to the hospital. I thought it's a ligament tear, took an MRI, and the MRI revealed it's a stress fracture. I asked the doctor, hey doctor, what do you think if I can take some peptides? And the doctor goes, what is that? So this also shows that you also need to be exposed to the right specialist as well, the right kind of people who can help you get the right advice in terms of, okay, your microplastic test is talking ABC, and to help you achieve DEF, I'm going to give you XYZ. And that's missing, I think. And that's something else that we want to add in Dardoc by having people like you on the board. I think there are a few phenomenal people out there in the region. We want to work with them. We want to build an ecosystem that actually delivers value to the people who are using the system or the platform that we have built in Dardoc.
From an educational perspective and otherwise.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Correct.
Because I think it's essential. Knowledge is power. And as human beings, we get stuck in, no matter how great of a physician you can be, if you're not learning every day, you're going to be left behind.
Exactly.
So, and whatever professional, we're not picking on physicians, obviously. Everyone is in the same boat, So having that education, that wide access to the latest, is I think key. So I'm very excited about the future of Dardoc, and I think I'm looking forward to be part of the journey and seeing all the great heights and the great things you're going to be doing on an individual level, but also on the masses that we're hoping touching. So congratulations on all the stuff that you've achieved so far. And I look forward to seeing some of the greater success that are all still coming on the way. I can see them on the horizon.
Thank you so much. We're just getting started. I think every year we say that we're just getting started because ever since we founded Dardoc, every year has been a phenomenal year for us. So when we look back to 2020, we're like, oh my God, we have traveled so far.
I know.
And I think 2026 is going to be one of our biggest years to date.
Yes.
So the team, everybody in our team is super excited to all the things that we're going to launch this year for people to benefit in terms of their health and wellness.
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining me on
you.
this. I know we could talk forever, but hopefully
pleasure
we'll have
is all
more
mine.
chances to do that. So here you have it, guys. So this is Dardoc, and as I said, this is something that we use for Limitless Human. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Please be kind to each other.